This video will show you the whole operation of the S700A rotary microtome. This video is divided into 6 parts, includes appearance, blade holder assembly introduction, specimen head introduction, handwheel assembly introduction, software introduction and maintenance. The first part is appearance. There are 2 knobs on the left side of the machine. The top one is the parameter knob, and the bottom one is the feed knob. Display screen, specimen head, blade holder assembly, waste tray, emergency stop button, handwheel, 12 o'clock handwheel lock and handwheel lock in any position. On the back of the machine are the USB port, dummy plug port, power switch and power cord connector. The second part is blade holder assembly introduction. Turning the lower holder assembly lock lever counterclockwise releases the entire blade holder assembly to adjust its position on the base plate of the microtome. After confirming the position, tighten the lock lever clockwise to fix the blade holder assembly. Turning the middle holder assembly lock lever counterclockwise releases the entire blade holder to adjust the horizontal position of the blade holder on the blade holder assembly. After confirming the position and tighten the lock lever clockwise to fix the blade holder. Loosen the screw on the left side of the lower holder assembly with the supplied 4 mm Allen wrench to adjust the angle of the clearance angle of the blade holder. The default angle is 5 degrees. After confirming the angle of the clearance angle, tighten the screws with an Allen wrench. Turning the upper blade assembly lock lever counterclockwise to loose the cover on the blade holder, and install the blade. The tweezers should be used when installing the blades to avoid scratches. After confirming that the blade installation is completed, tighten the lock lever to lock the blade holder in place. The third part is specimen head introduction. The push rod needs to be pressed forward to release the specimen head before installing the sample, and then install the pre-prepared tissue embedding cassettes to the specimen head. Release the push rod to complete the installation. The cassettes can be installed either vertically or horizontally. Before adjusting the specimen head angle, loosen the push rod on the right side of the specimen head counterclockwise firstly. The X-axis angle can be adjusted by turning the X-axis clamp adjustment knob on the right side of the specimen head. The X-axis indicator dial on the top of the specimen head allows you to view the X-axis angle of rotation. The Y-axis direction can be adjusted by turning the Y-axis clamp adjustment knob on the left of the specimen head. The angle indicator dial on the left side of the head allows you to see the angle of rotation in the Y-axis direction. The specimen head is tilted by 2 degrees per revolution, with a tilt range of plus or minus 8 degrees. The angle can be adjusted as required. After confirming the angle, the knob needs to be locked to secure the specimen head assembly. The fourth part is handwheel introduction. There are 2 types of handwheel locks: 12 o'clock handwheel lock and any position handwheel lock. 12 o'clock handwheel lock. The triangle symbol is the locking place of the handwheel lock. Press the handwheel locking catch at 12 o'clock, and the handwheel locks at 12 o'clock during rotation. The handwheel lock holds the handwheel in any position. Open the 12 o'clock handwheel lock, and rotate it to any position. Afterwards, tighten the position lock, and the handwheel will be fixed. The fifth part, software introduction. Plug in the power cord and switch on the microtome. The microtome will enter the self-test process and automatically enter the main interface after the self-test is completed. The knob on the top left of the microtome is the parameter knob. When the sectioning or trimming mode is selected, the corresponding parameters can be adjusted. You could select the mode by clicking the parameters on the interface. Counterclockwise rotation is to decrease the parameter, and clockwise rotation is to increase the parameter. Below is the feed knob. The remaining feed distance can also be observed on the interface. When the knob is turned clockwise, the specimen head moves forward. The remaining feed distance can be observed to decrease on the screen. When turned anti-clockwise, the sample head retracts. The maximum remaining feed distance is 28,000 mm. Menu interface introduction. Enter the parameter interface. You could set the value of retraction. Default value is 40. Below is a record of the number of counter taken and the total thickness taken. These can be individually zeroed below. Retraction alarm, cutting alarm and feeding alarm can be switched on or off. In the time date interface, you could set the display mode of time and date. In the settings interface, you could set the screen brightness, auto standby time, system language, view version information, and restore factory settings. In the history interface, you can see alarm logs and operation logs. You can also export all the alarm logs and operation logs separately. When the machine malfunctions, reward technical engineers may need to check the corresponding logs to troubleshoot. Standby mode can be entered manually by clicking the standby button. Standby mode can be exit by touching the screen or rotating the knob. Reward technical engineers may enter the manufacturer's maintenance settings during troubleshooting. Customers usually do not need to click on. The lock screen mode prevents the risk of machine mistouching. Automatic, manual slicing is still possible in lock mode. However, the trim section parameters cannot be changed. You can exit the lock mode by clicking the lock icon on the screen. You could do the feed adjustment in the feed interface. Two modes are available: step feed and fast feed. The remaining feed distance is displayed on the screen in real time. Each time the step feed button is pressed, the specimen head will be fed, withdrawn according to the set trim section parameters. Press and hold the fast feed button. The specimen head will be fed or withdrawn at a speed of 1,800 mm per second. Click on Home button and the head will return to the 28,000 mm original position. For quick feeding setting, first move the specimen head to a certain position. After clicking Memory button, the machine will save the current position as the default feed position and display it on the interface. Then move the specimen head to another position. Then click Go to button on the current interface or the main interface. The specimen head will return to the previously memory position. The main interface also has a Home button. Click on it and the specimen head will return to the original position. There are 3 rows of parameter in the center of the main interface. The first 2 rows are for trim and section parameters. Click to enter the specific parameter interface. You can adjust the parameters manually or select specific parameters. At the bottom of the screen is the setting of the corresponding trimming. Section speed in automatic mode. Slow speed is adjusted in units of 1 and the fast speed is adjusted in units of 10. Recommended values are 1040 and should not be set too high. Window cutting setting. Before setting the window cutting parameters, ensure that the Microtome is in automatic slicing mode and the hand wheel is in the 12 o'clock position. Click on window cutting icon to enter window cutting settings. Slowly rotate the hand wheel clockwise so that the lower edge of the sample is slightly higher than the blade. Click the OK button at the top of the interface. When the value of the distance between the upper edge of the display meets the requirement, the upper limit of the cutting window is set. Continue to rotate the handwheel clockwise until the upper edge of the sample is just below the blade. Click on the OK button and when the displayed distance value of the lower edge meets the requirement, the lower limit of the slicing window is set. Tap the bottom dot icon to the right to enable the cutting window. Return to the main interface. The cutting window have been set. Note on cutting window, the first one is that the upper edge distance should be smaller than the lower edge distance. The second is the cutting window should be set when the sample is moving downwards. The third is the cutting window setting area can only be set in the 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock position. Rock mode is off by default. 1 turn of the hand wheel for 1 feed. Feed at 12 o'clock and retract at 6 o'clock. When rock mode is on, there is no need to rotate the handwheel in a full circle. The rock mode supports handwheel rotation from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock for feed and retraction. Click the manual auto button in the main interface to change the slicing mode to auto. There are 4 slicing modes in automatic slicing mode. Single mode, the machine automatically slices 1 sample and stops. Multiply mode, you can set the machine to stop after slicing a certain number of samples or a certain thickness. Parameters can be adjusted in the intermittent mode. Double-click the parameter adjustment knob to start slicing. Press and hold the knob all the time. Release it to end the slicing. Continuous mode. Double-click on the parameter adjustment knob to start it. Slicing will continue until the parameter adjustment knob is pressed to stop it. Click the trim section button at the bottom of the main interface. You can manually switch the trim section mode. The lower right corner of the main interface can display the remaining feed distance, the total number of slices, the total thickness of slices and the slicing speed, which can be switched by clicking. The icons at the top right of the main interface represent whether the handwheel lock and the retraction is on or off. If the icon is displaying, the corresponding setting is turning on. The left one is for retraction and right one is for handwheel lock. Emergency stop button, which is the red button on the top right of the machine. Pressing the button stops the slicing immediately. and the emergency stop icon is displayed on the machine interface. No operation is possible in this state. The emergency stop can be cancelled by turning and pulling out the knob by hand. The sixth part, maintenance. The machine maintenance precautions are shown in the table below. When adding the dust cover, should cover the machine carefully all around to prevent dust accumulation. This is all about the operation of using S700A rotary microtome. Thanks for watching.